have produced students that have been celebrated worldwide. Its graduates have left behind a legacy and a heritage that for some persons are challenging for them to maintain. I would want to say to you, graduating class of 2022, the 5 years for which you have labored have paid off. We are now at the culmination of those years of tears and stress, of those times when your teachers have demanded of you that you measure up to the standard, when your parents have asked that you give it your best shot. We are here to celebrate excellence with you. We are aware that the achievement that we will celebrate today was not achieved by chance, but your teachers and your parents were there as cheerleaders, telling you that you are capable of doing what you believe you can. I want to salute all teachers.
Thank you, Worship the Mayor, Honorable Costa Rotorium of Portland, the Costa, Member of Parliament, Anne-Marie Vaz, Principal, Vice Principal, the Board of Directors, parents, guardians, good afternoon. I stand here this afternoon and I'm looking at you all and I'm feeling proud. It has been 2 years since we have not stand here because of the COVID-19 situation. And I know that for you, it was very hard because you had to stop coming to school, take on a new learning platform that is being online, which was very difficult for all of us. As a parent, I stand here to say to you, parents, well done. As we celebrate Parent Month under the theme, Reigniting the Village, I stand here as a parent who will always continue to reignite the village with all of you. I know that you are feeling very proud and happy today, but I just want to say to you that this is the beginning of the rest of your life. High school was hard, that you keep the Titchfield banner flying high. Looking at you, I'm feeling very happy. You're looking very lovely this afternoon. Looking in the front row, I'm seeing my daughter and she's looking lovely. So, congratulations, parents, teachers. I am sure that Miss Andrea must be proud this afternoon as she had taken you through 2 years whilst Mr. Thompson was on leave. And we were all here to cheer her on. So once again, congratulations and keep on keeping it on. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all the persons who have come to the podium to do their greetings. I just want to borrow a line or so from these persons. First one, Titchfield is the greatest. So you have spent 5 years at the greatest school. Don't let anybody tell you anything less than that. I am a product of Titchfield School. Brilliant students. Another of our speaker said that. Beacon in the East, empowering yourselves. But I like this one coming from our MP. What shot will you call? And this is a question that you need to answer. Yes, you have completed 5 years at Titchfield School. What next? What shot will you call? I am saying to you, ensure that the shot that you call is one that will allow the school to hold up its head, continue to shine. One that will see that your parents, your students, everybody proud of you. What shot will you call? Please answer that. We now move on to the principal's report. And I take this opportunity to invite that person who has been giving direction to every student and teacher and all the other workers in the school. He has been our guiding light. He makes the task of running the school looks so simple and smooth. Very silent, somebody said he's so young too. I heard the students then talking about him, saying young. He's here to give us an account of his stewardship for the school year, September 2021 to August 2022. Please help me in welcoming our principal, Mr. Richard Thompson.
I feel a little embarrassed to be putting out paper when I saw Custos with the technology mounted on the lectern. Nonetheless, I will carry on. Madam Chair, Mrs. Faineville, Honorable Lincoln Thaxton, Mrs. Thaxton, Custos Rotolorum of Portland, Member of Parliament, Mrs. Anne-Marie Vaz, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Vassell, Mr. Lieber Drisdale, representing Mrs. Blackwood Grant, Regional Director, our guest speaker and wife, Reverend Jermaine Johnson, President of our PTA, Mrs. Nadine Simpson McLean, other members of the school board, other members of the PTA executive, other specially invited guests, parents, teachers, well-wishers, graduates, all, good afternoon. I request your permission because I simply just can't ignore the fact that over the last 10 years or so, under normal circumstances, would have been joined by Mr. Perry and Dr. Clyde Thomas. Mr. Perry served the school board for many years in different capacities. Chairman, Finance Chair, Properties Chair, and many other positions. Dr. Thomas attended graduation for over a decade, giving an award to a student who excelled in the sciences. Both these gentlemen passed. Mr. Perry in 2021, Dr. Thomas about a month ago. May their souls rest in eternal peace and light perpetually shine on them. I take great pleasure and immense pride to be able to once again present a graduation report in the face-to-face environment. It is amazing how quickly we can take for granted the luxury of freedom, having experienced approximately 2 years of lockdown, coupled with extreme hardship for many. It has been said by many, and I fully support, that one of the final qualities of human beings is our ability to adapt. The past 2 years have certainly proved that to be true. The 2021-2022 academic year began online, with the pandemic still preventing us from resuming face-to-face, but with everyone determined to make the best of the technological tools available to us for instruction. We adapted well with all our activities, from new student orientation, PTA meetings, staff meetings, and classes happening exclusively online. Although we did a relatively good job with the online modality, we were delighted when the Ministry of Education and Youth cleared the way for face-to-face resumption in January 2022. This we engaged on a partial basis due to the need to adhere to the COVID-19 health and safety protocols. We adopted a mixed modality rotational approach as agreed by all stakeholders. Although this improved our situation coming out of lockdown, there was still a significant loss of instructional time given the limiting nature of the arrangement. Nonetheless, Our teachers and students made the best of what we knew could be a far worse situation, having experienced just that prior. By February, the measures under the Disaster Risk Management Act were largely withdrawn, paving the way for full face-to-face resumption in March. While all grades 10 to 13 students were immediately facilitated on March 7th, due to the severe furniture shortage, we retained the mixed modality rotational approach for grades 7 to 9 and gradually phased in full face-to-face in the ensuing weeks. The return to face-to-face instruction quickly highlighted numerous other challenges that negatively impacted the teaching and learning process and forced us into problem-solving mode. Some of the challenges included, but were not limited to, teachers' reluctance to return to face-to-face, obviously scared, infrastructural challenges, furniture shortage, transportation issues, especially in the east due to the ongoing road construction. Nonetheless, like true soldiers of the old Fort George, we marched on. The effects of the pandemic saw an overall reduction in performances in CSEC and CAPE exams nationally. This reduction was also evident in the performance of our students as well. The following represents a basic analysis of our performance. Our overall percentage pass in the CSEC examinations were reduced by 12 percentage points to 73, coming from 85 in 2021. One of the most telling fall-off is in the area of mathematics, which saw a 21 percentage point decline over the last year's 60% pass rate. English language was less affected, with an 83 pass rate, only 5% decline over last year's 88%. Our results were negatively impacted as well due to a number of subjects being returned as ungraded for students. While this is not unusual, the large numbers this year is cause for concern. A response. Notwithstanding these declines, we still managed to gain an 80% or higher pass rate in 16 of the 31 subject areas examined, also obtaining 100% pass in 5 of these areas. Of a cohort of 296 students, 179 students qualified for graduation by passing 4 or more subjects. However, we had 2 students sitting and passing 9 subjects. Ariel Wright, 9 subjects, 9 grade 1s, all A profile. Dennis Buckley, 9 subjects, 8 grade 1, 1 grade 2. Rahimi Richards, 8 subjects, 7 grade 1, 1 grade 2. Tamara Thomas, 8 subjects, 7 grade 1, 1 grade 2. I promised my wife that I'll keep my report short because you didn't come to hear me. I think the parents want to celebrate with the kids. So I have cut my report in half. Madam Chair, it should never be taken lightly what was achieved by these students under what were extremely trying circumstances. The sharp learning curve required to cope online by both our students and teachers should never be disregarded and had to participate asynchronously, while others were even worse off and had to be taken care of through our drop-off efforts supported by our counselors and modality managers. You see, we even coined the new terms, modality managers. Oh wow. Our performance in the CAPE examinations were quite the contrast, with overall pass rate being 95%, a 4 percentage point increase over last year. Ironically, The lowest percentage pass was 73 in pure math, equaling the overall pass rate of the CSEC exams, while being 22% higher than the percentage pass rate in the subject area last year. We received 90% or higher in 30 of the 33 units examined and 100% pass in 18 of those units. I will not give more details in this setting since those students are not a part of our graduating class. Nonetheless, that bit of information on their performance needed to be highlighted in this forum. Hearty congratulations to those students, their teachers, and parents. We have made strides since the pandemic in the resumption of co-curricular activities within the school, both internally as well as externally. House competitions are a feature of our school and are encouraged and supported at every chance. We're engaged in football, netball, volleyball, Sports Day, Ice Titchfild. Sports Day was held April 29 on the school compound. There were activities throughout the week, including Ice Titchfild and field events leading up to the grand day. When the dust settled, we had Getty's house. Anyone from Getty's house? Sixth place. 544 points. Plant House, 5th place, 628 points. Chin's House, 4th place, 725 points. Sherlock, 3rd place, 983 points. The mighty Grosset House, my house, 2nd place, 992 points. And by the way, Ground House, 1st place, 1,180 points. The sentiments of the general school population, to include our teachers, was that this was one of the best sports days in recent memory due to the wide-scale participation of students and teachers, and especially with it being held on the school compound. We have been participating in some competitive co-curricular activities as well, in an effort to assist our students return to normal school life. Some of these activities included school challenge quiz. You know, for many years, this team has been doing well. We participated in the competition last year despite the challenges of the pandemic. While we did not fare as well as previous years, the team represented with pride. We made an early exit in the second round after defeating Antrovia High 21-6 and then losing by a mere 2 points to a school who will remain unnamed. The team is already in training and we are hopeful for a better showing in the upcoming season. As usual, congratulations to the team led by Coach Spark and Chase. After missing out on last year's competition in football due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have now returned to the Da Costa Cup competition with renewed vigor. We have added to our coaching staff setup with Coach Raymond Gordon being supported by Mr. Peart, Mr. Gale, and Mrs. Russell. In the first round of the competition, we played 6 games, winning 3, drawing 3, losing none. The scores were as follows. Against Fair Prospect, 4-love, Titchfield, 3-1, Titchfield, 6 points, 2 games. Happy Grove, 1-1, second game, 2-all, 2 points, 2 games. Port Antonio High, first game, 1-all, second game, 2-love. 4 points, 2 games. We moved on to the second round of the competition with high hopes. However, we played home and away to a school that will remain unnamed and lost both games. Allow me to congratulate our team and the coaching and management staff for a very commendable effort this season. Our age group teams are currently in competition as we seek to build players for the future. Special thanks must also be given to the Titchfield Past Student Sports Association, who has stepped up in support of our co-curricular activities for placing second in the country. Coach Lamont and the team have consistently done well throughout the years. Continue to make us proud. Our track and field team participated in several development meets throughout the season, culminating in our participation in Eastern Champs, where we were placed second, and the boys and girls champs, where we received 6 points scored by 2 students. Chevon Jarrett was placed 4th in the boys class 2 800 meters, and Malik Parkinson was placed 8th in the boys class 1 long jump. That's 4th and 8th in the country. It's not easy. 100 and odd schools participate usually at boys and girls champs, and probably only 20 odd schools score points. That's the extent to which these students achieve. We appreciate the efforts of all our students on the track team, and especially the very committed, who continue to show true grit and determination even when the competition appears daunting. Allow me, Madam Chair, to highlight one such student, Kaylee Shelton, who has been with the track team since grade 7. I am happy to announce to this gathering that Kaylee's commitment to her God-given talent of running and the track program at Titchfield paid off for her as she received an athletic scholarship to the University of the District of Columbia to pursue further studies, as well as to continue her track and field development. We anticipate that in the upcoming years, we will produce more students who will be able to attract similar scholarships. Special thanks to our coaches and support staff, as well as our past students and parents who continue to support the program. In 4-H activities, the school entered the virtual poster competition under the theme, Youth in Agriculture and Environmental Awareness, Strengthen Food Security through Innovation and Technology. We were represented by Michaela Richards, who was placed 1st in the parish and 3rd nationally. We continue to benefit from a scholarship awarded by CASE to a student of the school who is involved in our 4-H club activities. Our beneficiary for 2021-2022 is Jada Lee Lindsay, who is now pursuing the program Bachelor's of Science in Plant Science. Titchfield High School continues to do well on the debate stage. We currently have 2 students, Gaisley Stewart and J.C. Henry, being members of the prestigious Jade Secondary Level Gold Club, and a lead group of debaters at the secondary level, from which representatives are selected to represent Jamaica. J.C. Henry, who was also elected president of this group, was a member of a Jamaican team that recently won the debate competition against a team from Rollins College from Florida in the United States, and was featured in the national papers. The team left Jamaica on September 30th for a 3-week debate and cultural exchange program at the University of Western Georgia. They argued against the move the U.S. government should impose federal law to protect the right to abortion. Congratulations to her and our debate team here at Titchfield, who continue to produce gems such as JC. I now share some information regarding projects at the school. Madam Chair, we continue our efforts to be an inclusive school, catering to students with varying needs. This approach has been supported by the Portland Municipal Corporation who constructed 2 wheelchair access ramps on the compound. These ramps were built as a project granted to a former youth mayor and former head girl, Shadeen McLean, daughter of our PTA representative to the board, Mrs. Nadine Simpson McLean. The ramps were constructed at the administrative block and the block B respectively. This project is squarely aligned to the school's objective of making the plant more accessible to persons using wheelchairs. We thank both Ms. McLean and the Municipal Corporation for executing this project at the school in such a timely manner. Our PTA, led by Mrs. McLean, has decided to continue those efforts and will be building more ramps throughout the school. I would be delighted if others could see the need to assist us further in this effort to expand accessibility on the compound. Another project being pursued is the construction of a greenhouse. As a school, we initiated the offering of agricultural science only 3 years ago, with 2 sittings so far in CSEC exams, scoring 97 and 98% respectively. Big up to the science department. This has encouraged us to do a project proposal to establish a greenhouse at the school. The project has been submitted to prospective donors for funding consideration. The idea is to teach our students the technology, as well as supply much needed nutritional support to our students, especially those who represent the school in co-curricular activities. We have faith that very soon, a good Samaritan will bring good news. The Titchfield Park Student Sports Association, who donated training shoes and training balls for the football team, who is assisting us with paying our football coach salary, was given nutritional support to the football program, as well as the recently formed Team Netball Titchfield Alumni Association, who donated 30 pairs of shoes and 7 balls to our netball program. This donation was worth just under $500,000 and will significantly boost the chances of success in this competition. And our recent donor, MP Vaz, who only today pledged $100,000 towards our track and field program. Madam Chair, in closing my report, I want to assure us all that the recovery process continues here at Titchfield. And with the effort shown by this graduating class, we are confident that come this time next year, we will be very close, if not back to our best. Allow me to thank and salute all categories of staff.
A face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulder.
stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up. Take my people with me. Together we are going to our brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on.
I can feel it in my
Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine,
Gonna start moving.
towards that separating line.
I'm wading through muddy waters.
You know I got a made of mine.
And I don't mind if I lose any good right
Friend that I got until I die. So I'm gonna
Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to our brand new home.
far across the
River, can you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. They don't know what's around the bend. Might be hard, and I just might fail, but Lord knows I tried. Just as fair the Together we are going to our brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to our brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on.
I am sure you'd like me to say thanks to Mrs. Vance, MP for East Portland. She has another engagement, and so she'll have to leave us at this time. So we say thank you very much. The item from the school was well received. The dynamics, the different voices, the pitch, don't get the start. All it was well delivered. And to the choir Master or Mrs., you call her? Very well done. Thank you very much. I am wondering, Mr. T, they're nothing altogether sing this year? And you know, Titchfield students, they can sing, you know. And they're always with their choir, you know. One of the choir master, Mrs. is right here, you know. I cannot sing, that is my disclaimer. But I would peep at her and cheer them on. Right, Mrs. Thatcher? Right, we need to get them back, sir. We now move on to the speech that we all want to hear. Have I said something wrong? All right. Thank you. I'm so going to invite person, Harold A. Wright.
Custos Rotalorum, Honorable Lincoln Thaxter and Mrs. Thaxter, Member of Parliament, Mrs. Anne-Marie Vaz, Mayor Deputy, Mr. Rohan Vassell, Acting Regional Director, Mrs. Yashika Blackwood Grant, Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Faye Newville, Principal, Mr. Richard Thompson, Vice Principals, Mrs. Cheryl Hornmere and Ms. Georgette Taylor, Guest Speaker, Mr. Jermaine Johnson, specially invited guests, members of staff, the PTA, relatives, friends, and graduates. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. We have begun our descent onto the Titchfield Peninsula. Please fasten your seatbelts and turn off all portable electronic devices. The local time on this day, September 4, 2017, is 8 a.m. We do hope you enjoy your stay. 5 years ago, we landed on the tarmac at Titchfield High School. The 5-year layover of connecting flight 0611-2022 had just begun. We arrived in the transit lounge, pleats neatly ironed and car keys sharply sealed, but feet trembling with anxiety. What were we to expect? Who were we going to meet? Who were we going to be? We had so many questions in the back of our minds. However, we had no reason to be so nervous. This airport was state-of-the-art. In the 7th grade, we were introduced to our fellow passengers, some familiar and some new. This was where friendship started to blossom and teacher-student bonds developed. We were in a new environment and our story was just beginning. During our time here, we've made many memories to last a lifetime. I can confidently say most of our best years were spent over by Portmore, far away from the staff room. From karaoke sessions in our classroom after PE to class football matches at lunchtime, we sure had a blast. Nothing could dampen our spirits, not even the suffocating heat Portmore had to offer. It is safe to say that we have all had our fair share of exercise, whether it be from running from Miss Chum to our classes on the 9th grade block, or just running to the cafeteria at lunchtime. The Titchfield experience was an amazing one, and we will definitely miss it. From buying delicious pastries from Miss Roper to attending the Mr. and Miss Titchfield competition, and even though we may not want to admit it, Mr. Thompson's lengthy speeches in our weekly General Assembly, we will miss it all. some were called for an earlier departure. As a result, we lost one of our most promising passengers in our second year of layover. He was a humble and brilliant soul that departed way too soon. To Pranjal we say, fly high Pakistan, you are dearly missed. Not long after, in our third year of layover, came a pandemic that completely reshuffled our lives. From social distancing 6 feet apart to remote learning, the whole paradigm had changed. We all had to adjust our way of learning. We had to come to terms with this new reality, and we sure made the best of it. The most crucial part of this journey was the last 2 years of layover. We had to work harder than we played. We had to make the 5 years count. But despite all the challenges that we faced, we found a safe haven in Titchfield's departure lounge. I must extend gratitude to our lounge attendants for being our chaperones throughout this arduous journey. Yes, I'm referring to our teachers. You all deserve a badge of honor for your commitment to ensuring our success. All the knowledge garnered will no doubt be valuable along the next phase of our journey. To Mrs. Harmier, we've learned there is no shortcut to anywhere worth going. Miss Thompson, we will continue to be warriors, conquerors, and overcomers in the name of the Lord. Mr. Hamilton, we understand that without mathematics, there is nothing you can do. Miss Bell, Mr. Walsh, and Dr. Shirley, thank you for shaping our future. I wish I could stand here and thank each and everyone individually, but time would just not allow it. So, to all our teachers, administrative staff, and ancillary staff, our heartfelt gratitude to you all. Special thanks must be extended to our parents. Without you, we would not be here today. To our airport commissioners, Mr. Richard Thompson, Mrs. Ivy, Miss Taylor, and Mrs. Hornmere, we salute you. Thank you for the first-rate transient stay in this journey we call life. We have flourished under your leadership and will depart as well-rounded individuals, all thanks to you. Over the last 5 years, we've learned to build relationships and rely on each other. We have worked together as a community, respecting our differences and acknowledging that we need each other in order to succeed. Our layover has now come to an end. Time to go find our gates to board our different flights. The gates are countless and the opportunities are endless. Whether it is the sixth form gate, the college gate, or the gates of early employment, we have been equipped to take on any journey. We may experience some turbulence and mini storms along the way, but the knowledge and the experiences that we have attained will keep us above the clouds. Graduating class of 2022, as you embark on your respective journeys, I urge you to work hard, dream big, and as always, fly high. I thank you.
A very good job from her. There is this song I'm trying to remember. I think I heard it sometime during COVID. The plane land, the plane land. The plane land, the plane land. The class 22. Lovely, brilliant students. Congratulations. Thank you very much for our speech, for that speech. We now move on to an item from our graduates. Indeed, class 22, history has been made. No worry yourself. Right down to the grassroots, the reggae. And that song had your principal dancing. Did you know he could dance? You never know, yes man. He was dancing, lovely song, lovely song. Don't worry yourself. No sorry for yourself. Your destiny. You determine your destiny. Nobody else. Very well done. Thank you very much. It's now time for the guest speaker. He has been sitting here all afternoon, smiling, supporting us, and we want to hear from him. Now, somebody has been given that task to introduce this quite gentleman, Mr. Johnson. And I'm going to leave it to that person to invite or to tell you more about our guest speaker. And so I invite at this time Miss Tamara Thomas.
Honorable Lincoln Thaxter and Mrs. Thaxter, Deputy Mayor Mr. Rowan Bassel, Mr. Liebert Drysdale, Master of Ceremonies Ms. Paige Bill, Principal Mr. Richard Thompson, Vice Principals Mrs. Cheryl Hornmere and Ms. Georgia Taylor, Guest Speaker Pastor Jeremy Johnson, specially invited guests, members of staff, the PTA, relatives, friends, and graduates, good afternoon. Jeremy Johnson is a minister, motivational speaker, and musician who hails from Port Antonio, Jamaica. He is a celebrated speaker who has graced the audiences of countless government, corporate, and academic institutions locally and internationally. And having spent over a decade in the classroom, he brings much methodology to his presentations. He is an award-winning Toastmaster who operates with the mantra, engage, empower, and enrich. He has served his country in many capacities over the years, to include President of the National Youth Council of Jamaica, Ambassador for the National Youth Service, Jamaica's representative to the Commonwealth Youth Parliament in Australia, and the composer of the Governor General's I Believe Initiative theme song. He also currently serves as an IBI Ambassador for the Governor General's Program for Excellence. He has worn many hats throughout his life, including radio host, music conductor, and youth development activist. But his passion lies in ministering to, inspiring, and motivating people. A proud graduate of the Titchfield High School and the Northern Caribbean University, honor student and class valedictorian, Johnson currently serves as the senior pastor of the Monique district of Seventh-day Adventist churches in St. Anne. He is also CEO of Johnson Motivate. He is happily married to Georgia Wright, his partner in ministry and motivation. Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2022, please help me welcome our guest speaker, Pastor Jermaine Johnson.
Success is never the result of happenstance. It is the outcome of the input. What you put in it comes out of it, but never in the same proportions. For you reap what you sow, later than you sow, and more importantly, more than you sow. And by all indications, I am pleased today to know that the class of 2022 has sown the seeds of success, and today the class reaps the harvest. Put your hands together for the graduating class once again. the protocols already established. Allow me to say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, parent supporters, all class of 2022, good afternoon to you. I am very elated this afternoon to return to my alma mater. My alma mater, which I graduated from approximately 22 years ago at a ceremony held at the Christ Church in Port Antonio. And having gone through these halls of the Titchfield High School, I'm glad to be back here 2 decades and 2 years later on to celebrate with the 2022 class. I don't know it's because it's 2022 class of 22 requires a man that graduated 22 years ago. And what adds to the occasion is that Principal Thompson, the principal in my time, is seated right behind me. And that is very good. Custos Mortal Honorable Lincoln Taxter would stand up there every Monday morning and say to us, Titchfield is the greatest. And I recognize the age of some of those on the left, because when others were saying one teach, etc., the Titchfield is the greatest resonated. And I said, shout this so that the soldiers at the camp could hear you. And that was inculcated in the back of our heads, and some of us never quite understood what he was doing, but the greatness that has been unfolded has been as a result of what the Titchfield High School has done for all of us. Put your hands together for this great institution. So I have very fond memories of this institution, and I'm glad to be here today, not as a graduate, which I was a proud graduate at 22 years ago, and here you are today, you are beaming, and it seems like you're getting younger in looks by the years, because it looks to me like some of you are graduating from primary school, but that's a good thing. The fountain of youth has run in Portland, and that is why my past principal, he has not changed in age nor stage, nor my music teacher, Miss Saxon. And you heard that I'm a musician, and you would imagine that I must have been buzzing from Titchfield High School. But the only thing I remembered in grade 8 at that particular time was to play the 222 on my recorder. But the seeds were sown, and now the fruits have come. So I'm celebrating here today what Titchfield has done for me, and I'm here rather to celebrate with the current class the accomplishments you have got yourselves. At the start of 2020, mid-flight, according to the Valley Victorian, who did so well, I came up with a mantra for that year, plenty in 2020. Because the very year itself is a visionary year, Madam PTA President. And I even started off the year on my motivational platforms, Johnson Motivates, 20 things to bring you plenty things in 2020. And pandemic was not on the list. And in the middle of March that particular year, you know the rest of the story, but 2.5 years later on, and look at you now. You have done well for yourself despite the challenges, and you have exercised a great level of resilience, and that indeed has added to the caliber of accomplishment that you are graduating here today. Put your hands together one more time. Big things going on at Titchfield High School. I know that programs like these are very long, because I've been to countless number of them. And when they see the guest speaker not only being a keynote or motivator, but also a minister, some become concerned that he might just get in the Holy Spirit and we just call it an afternoon. And the principal was already reprimanded by his wife that this would keep it very short. And you're wondering what Georgia said to me. She likes short speeches as well. But one of the things I've learned in my public speaking experience, Mr. Bill, is that a great speech is like a miniskirt. It is long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to create excitement. So I'm going to work with the miniskirt principle, otherwise I must cover it up, but it's good for speeches. In other words, I do not have to be long in order to be strong, so I focus more on the strength of speech and not on the length of speech. Shall we get on with the graduating class? That's what I'm talking about. You have heard the number of students who started out, yet not all of them qualified for graduation, and they still have opportunity to sort out their losses. But you have made it, even though many dropped out along the way. You are not only looking good, but you have done well for yourselves, and you should be proud. Pick up yourself, 2022 class. But even as we are celebrating the victory of having spent 5 years in this wonderful institution and have accomplished all them passes, 9 grade 1s are right. I remember the name because my wife is right before I made her Johnson. That is why some of them not get back married, because they are looking for Miss Right, but I took her for myself. Now, I heard a story once that the bees were teaching the wasps to make honey. And as soon as they mastered the art of making the honeycomb, it was time for midterm break. When they returned to school, it was now time for the most important part of the course, the honey making. But the wasps were so wassy because of what they had already accomplished that they would settle down in class and listen to their teachers. So they had to call in the principal, the queen bee, and even so they had no improvement in the matter. Ultimately, therefore, they had to cancel the course. And nowadays, the wasps fly around in housetops and gardens and trees making honeycombs, but they can't make the honey. Because the accomplishment of the honeycomb got to their heads that they forgot that there was more for them to accomplish beyond that. As great as your accomplishments are today, class of 2022, I want you to know that you have just really mastered the honeycomb. And for you to have a sweet life, you must now move on to making the what? The honey. Because the honey will bring you the money and all the sweet things that life has to offer. I don't know about you, but every young person I come across in life wants to be successful. Those in favor say aye. It is scary. They want the nicest wife. They want the nicest cars, not the ones that go beat. Those are cheap. Pam, 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 pam. You understand exactly what I'm talking about. They want a nice house, something on the coast of Port Antonio, perhaps. Am I talking truth here? The latest iPhone or Samsung, whichever you do prefer. And they also want a nice double-door refrigerator with a pull-out freezer at the bottom, well stocked out. They don't only want to shop at the corner shops. We support them. That is why I say only. They want to go to Mega Mart to make a Mega Starter and shop a spare. And when others move with the basket, don't even ask it. They move with trolleys. And they don't watch prices because it's always price right. And not only that, they want a walk-in closet because they are fashionistas. And they don't want to be folding up those expensive Louis Vuitton and the Gucci and the Dolce & Gabbana. So they want walk-in closets with the lovely shelves to store them stilettos, young ladies, and then three-piece suit come through my youth. And because it tends to get so warm at times, especially in the east, you want to have at least a 30 by 15 swimming pool, so that when Jamaica is warmed up, you just put on your beach outfit, and you just get a cocktail, no alcohol added to it, and just sit on the beach, on your pool deck, and take a snap, Instagram for that. And everybody's like, whoa girl, where are you? Got my lady out? And whoa. Am I talking to Mrs. Baxter? Yeah, it's called the dream. Somebody say dream. And when I was a young man growing up in Portland, I heard people talk a lot about the American dream. And for a moment it seemed as if you never had a visa, therefore you couldn't dream, because the dream apparently was locked away in America. But then I grew to understand that the dream just refers to a set of ideas that really distinguishes one as a successful individual, being able to comfortably take care of themselves as well as their families. And thus there is the dream in Jamaica. We want to call it today the Jamaican dream. And we're not talking about small-time dreams. We're talking about big dreams. Somebody said big dreams. And all of those who want their dreams to be reality, say Ray. I'm glad that you said Ray. If I said Ray, that would be it for the day. I am just here to talk to you about in my ministerial presentation 3 categories of people in the world. And you will determine which one of them you would prefer to become when you leave here today. We have the sleepers, the keepers, and the reapers. If you can remember your neighbor's business, you can remember it. Come again, what are they? Sleepers, keepers, and reapers. The sleepers, like yourselves, they have big dreams but no plans. They want success, but it's as if they are hoping that it will be an automatic matter. They are quick to say, oh, we have a nice convertible bimmer, we have a nice house, a nice house. And when they reel off the wish list, you say, why they can have ambition, man? You know, so do I come to something good? Because they have all these things written down. But why do I call them sleepers? They forget that in order for those dreams to become realities, they have to take action. So sleepers, they have accomplished the honeycomb, and now they want to move on, forgetting that you have to take it to the top. And at the end of the day, they forget the most important thing is that dreams are dreamt when people are asleep. to make them realities, you must wake up and smell the coffee, or your dreams will become nightmares. And trust me, the nightmare rough, I'll talk about it in a moment from now. And thus, if you are just a dreamer, you are a sleeper. Martin Luther said, I have a dream, but he lost sleep, ensuring that he worked strategically towards the what? The fulfillment of your dream. But you never say fulfill the dream. Because if you don't fulfill the dream, you'll never be able to mount the stage in the future and say to your audience, perhaps like Nesbeth, let me start the one I like how Martin Luther King that started my dream. No, you can't sing that song. Let me tell my music teacher what song you have to sing. Nightmares, 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 nightmares. All of my dreams have become nightmares. We can't find food to eat, we can't find clothes to wear. And of course, there will be no need going to the next line. Look at me now. Look at what? All the graduating students who want to be sleepers, raise your hand. I thought so. The second category, Madam Master of Ceremonies, they are known as the peepers. Peepers take pleasure in observing the successes of others and begin to say, oh, I love the house and I'll change the color a little bit and I put on a nice gazebo at the side. Then I'm not deciding, but trust me, my house just like that was. And then I say, hey, what a nice wife. Is a girl like that I want in my life. I love that car. I will put on some 17-inch Serendipity sports rim on it. Peepers are peeping, forgetting that what belongs to another does not belong to them. And sometimes when that happens, some of them even become envious and covetous, and then they decide to cut you down so that they can get from you what you worked hard to accomplish for yourself. Let me tell you something. What belongs to another man is his. Your bit you must work for. A lot of young ladies, for example, when they are peepers and they forgot that they ought to work for their own, they look around and they see a man that looks like a prince in shining armor. But their grandmother never taught them, mother that girl, that when mother look him ride donkey, when he left him ride horse. When a man is wooing a woman, he rides a donkey, but when he's leaving, he rides a horse. And you know in Jamaica they say, patient men ride donkey. So he pulls the doors, he pulls up the chairs, and does all the nice things to win her affections. But as soon as he has gotten what he desires, and she's hoping that he will settle down, he's gone quickly like a horse. And that's it for your Jamaican proverb for the day. And if you don't know where that expression came from, you ought to call me sir. It was my cue that it was time to get ready for the evening shift. Are we together now? Don't lose out on it. You have to work for your own. So while you're looking at all the luxuries around you, that belongs to others. What about yours? Work for it. So we have to what? The sleepers. Big dreams and no plans, and nobody wants to be a sleeper. We have the peepers. They have an eye for good things, but they never own it for themselves. All those who want to be peepers for the rest of their lives, raise your hand. I thought so too. But Principal Thompson, we have another category. The reapers. The reapers recognize that if you want it, you must plant it. Shall we chant it? If you want it? Okay. If you want it, plant it. Right? The laws of farming teach three things rather. You reap what you sow, more than you sow, but later than you sow. So if a man plants corns, what does he get in return? Corns. And it's not magic, it's logic. If he wants mangoes, he plants mangoes. If he wants bananas, what does he plant? Bananas. But it's not every day that he plants the fruit. Let's say the mango. He's going to get the fruit of it. It takes some time for the cultivation of the root, then the propagation of the shoots, and then the demonstration of the fruits. But as long as he takes the time out to nurture his mango tree, by watering it and fertilizing it, maybe with some 1428 or some 10-8, 8-10-8, etc. We don't go farming, sometimes it looks good, but we know about the bush. He can rest assured that all things being equal, in the future he's going to reap what? Mangoes, because you reap what? What you sow, but you reap it later than you sow and way much more than you sow. Life is waiting whether or not you are prepared for it. So don't you kick back, relax, and enjoy the day because you have accomplished the honeycomb. Gone are the days when you could have graduated Titchfield High School with some good subject passes and landed a good government job and you get paid and settled down for the rest of your life. It used to keep, but that now keep again. That is why I want to empower you graduating class. Move on to skills training if you prefer to work with your hands. Move on to 6 transform in preparation for the career of your choice. Move on into college and don't stop until you get to the top. Why must I do that? Let me break it down for you. If you fail to get qualified, your life will never be dignified. Because what you will resort to naturally is called minimum wage. We will return to the details right after the break. Welcome back. And now for the details. Minimum wage in Jamaica currently stands at what? 9,000 Jamaican dollars per week. 4 times 9 mathematicians? $36,000 per month. That can hardly pay a month's rent in no major vicinity and no major amenity. If you go to the bushes, maybe you can survive. You can't get somewhere to rent for that in the bushes. And who can't pay rent must touch with their parents. And then you believe that you turn big man and you turn big woman. Because some believe, that is why I have to speak so passionately, that the aim was to finish high school, but it's not done yet. Because the responsibilities of life are there, and for you to take care of yourself and your family as well, you have to ensure that you are qualified with a professional job so that you can get money that nobody can tell us a little bit of money. Let's spend the $36,000. I'm going to be a bit nice. Let's pretend that you get somewhere near to Port Antonio for $20,000 per month. So when you pay your rent, you have what next? $16,000. $200 to work, $200 back. That's $400 per day times 5 days of the week. That's what, $2,000. And let's go on. That's what, 4 times 2. That is $8,000. So $28,000. So what you have left? $8,000. You pay the light bill. So the money is done. I'm praying that there's a water catchment and lots of rainfall like we usually get in the east. Oh no, you haven't bought any food. And when they start to stim down and they say, Patsy, it looks as if you're losing weight, girl. He said, no, I'm watching my physique. I don't want to look big like the guest speaker. Live! But some people have excellent metabolism. They have money to buy food, but they just won't grow. You understand? And although you haven't bought any roll-ons, you must just skin, yes? And ladies, you will always be without always. And then you have your favorite hashtag will be the struggle is real. But understand, class of 2022, that the struggles have always been real. Don't let social media fool you. Don't let the get-rich-quick mentality fool you. You have to work for what you want because life is waiting whether or not you are prepared for it. So you cannot be a sleeper. Wake up and smell the coffee of reality. You cannot be a peeper. Don't watch what others have. It belongs to them. You must be a what? Reaper. Sow the seeds of success if you want to what? Reap success for your own. I will attest that when I attended Titchfild High School for 80% of my stay, I was a peeper and a sleeper. When I graduated to Titchfield from the fellowship primary and to the high school, let me tell you, when I was shocked that I passed common entrance, and not only passed it, but I ended up in Titchfield High School. Talk to me nice. And while I was here, it was the time of the Zimmer, who's got the keys to my bimmer, and I was talking about which kind of bimmer I want. I was a peeper, and I was also a sleeper, because I was having all these dreams, but I wasn't working towards them. I was going through the motion, and I was passing through school, but school wasn't passing through me. I had the potential to learn, but I was misguided. But thank God for Jesus. When I went on summer break in 1999, pending the entrance of my final year, I met a man by the name of Jesus. And when I got transformed and saved that summer, August 1, 1999, in the Seventh-day Adventist Church there at Stanton, I felt like something was about to take place. Because the Bible says, if any man is in Christ, he is a new creation. All things have passed away. Behold, all things have what? Become new. I knew that it was late, but something said to me, Jeremy Johnson, boy, you got purpose. When I came back to school for the very first time, I was a business student in 5th form upstairs on the 2nd block there. I was seated at the front of my classes. I was going on what talk, even though my talking was preparing me for my professions. I was now paying keen attention, and everybody was wondering, what did you Jeremy Johnson, Jesus? When my mother came to see me, my form teacher, Mrs. Palmer,
She said this man, Jeremy Johnson's really been transformed, but his wasted so much time, we're not quite sure if he can pick up the pieces this late. But let me tell you, it's never too late for a show, I'm afraid. When it was time for the subjects to be recommended, or for us to be recommended for subjects, they skeptically, and with good reasons, recommended me to do 6 subjects. And when the results came out, despite my late settlement, I got 5 out of the 6. I have to go back for the maths because then I thought it meant madness attacking the head swiftly. And I can tell you this, my parents were shocked, naturally. My teachers were very shocked. My friends were super shocked. Me shocked and Abednego. I was shocked. But it teaches me another important ingredient as you move forward. With Christ in the lead, you will succeed. Come on, say everybody. With Christ in the lead, you will succeed. Graduating class, personalize it. With Christ in the lead, I will succeed. I have to take another time to tell you all my story. But from then, I just moved from one great thing to the other. And when I was in the Northern Caribbean University, by the second year, I was one of the top 10 students in NCU, summa cum laude, right across Jamaica. And when I got my honor, some girls saw me on one of the blocks, and they said, "So what are they who got the award?" And they came over and said, "Sir, oh, you tweet, you're right from the yard, they need to what it percent off from the yard down the chin." I started late, but with Jesus it was still great. So put God first. Why? With Christ in the lead, personalized, I will succeed. Don't go out there and join the stereotypical ranks of those who want success, but through unscrupulous means. Because when you cannot take care of yourself, you are either going to struggle until you die, or you're going to be tempted to chop the line. What? And all those things. And God never made you for that. God said, "I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord." What type of plans are they? Plans of peace, of prosperity, to give you a future and a hope. God has made you for integrity and dignity, not for you to go about punching on others and doing criminal activities to get by. Don't join them. When they decided to chop off the chopper music off the mainstream radio the other day, everybody started us. What is the music about that? What is entertainment about that? You have to go out there and be the game changers and let the world know that we still thrive on morals. And we cannot break down this society to a place that people feel as if it is okay to entertain you with their unscrupulous activities. Shoot that down. Young men.